You know how it is, right? You want to improve your life, so you look up these huge, drastic plans that just feel overwhelming. Well, today, we're going to look at a totally different path. We're diving into some simple, almost invisible habits that are at the heart of one of the world's most fascinating cultures.
I mean, it's a huge question, isn't it? We always hear about this, the incredible longevity, the deep sense of purpose you find in Japanese culture. So, what's the secret? Is it something we can actually learn from?
Well, the answer is way simpler, and honestly, way more powerful than you might think. It's not about winning some genetic lottery. It's not about luck. It all comes down to small, consistent daily actions. Not these grand, sweeping changes, but tiny, intentional habits that just build up, day after day, over a lifetime.
Okay, so let's start where it all begins. The mindset. This is the foundation that everything else is built on. It all starts with how you think about progress and, your own reason for being here.
The first big idea is a concept called Kaizen. Now, this didn't start as a self-help trick. It actually came out of business, helping to rebuild Japanese industry after World War II, but its real power is how you can use it in your own life. This is the exact opposite of making a huge New Year's resolution and then burning out by February. It's just about getting 1% better every single day, an improvement so small you barely even notice.
And this is where it gets really practical. The whole point of Kaizen is to just remove all the excuses. So, you want to read more? Don't commit to a whole chapter, just read one page. Want to get in shape? Don't try to force an hour at the gym, just do one single push-up. The idea is to make that first step so ridiculously easy that you literally can't say no.
But look, continuous improvement is only half the battle. With Kaizen moving you forward, you still need to know what direction are you even heading in. And that's where our next habit, Ikigai, comes into play. It's your reason for being, your reason for getting out of bed in the morning. And in places like Okinawa, which is famous for its number of people living past 100, many believe this powerful sense of purpose is a huge reason why.
So how do you find your Ikigai? Well, it's not about some big, scary life purpose that you have to discover. It's really found where 4 simple questions overlap. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you get paid for? You don't need the perfect answers right now, but just starting to think about these questions, that can change everything. All right, so once you have that internal philosophy, that inner compass, we can shift to the external stuff, the daily practices that shape how you interact with your body, your environment, and everyone around you.
Let's start with a health habit that is just brilliantly simple. Hara Hachi Bu. In Okinawa, it's a phrase people often say before every meal. Think of it as a tiny, mindful reminder to stop eating not when you're totally stuffed, but when you're just about satisfied. So why 80%? Well, it turns out it takes our brain about 20 minutes to actually realize that our stomach is full. So if you eat until you feel full, you've actually already gone too far. And that extra 20%, it really adds up. By stopping at 80%, you give your body what it needs, and this kind of slight calorie restriction has actually been scientifically linked to a longer, healthier life. Okay, this next one is one of my favorites. Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. Now, this is not about hiking or breaking a sweat. It's way simpler. It's just the act of being in nature, walking slowly, breathing it all in, noticing the world around you. In Japan, doctors literally prescribe this to lower stress. It's considered medicine.
And this just totally flips the script, doesn't it? In our world that is constantly screaming for our attention, taking time to do nothing in nature isn't being lazy. It's not wasted time. It is essential recovery for your brain and your entire nervous system.
And the final practice in this section is Omoyari. This is basically the art of compassionate consideration. It's about anticipating what other people might need and acting with kindness. It's the reason people speak quietly on trains in Japan or why public spaces are kept so clean. It's this underlying idea that if you make life a little easier for others, life becomes easier for everyone. Okay, so you have a philosophy for progress and these practices for mindful living. But life happens, right? Things go wrong, things get hard. This final section is all about how to deal with that. It's about resilience.
First up is wabi-sabi, and this is a huge one, especially for us in the West where we're so obsessed with perfection. The flawless skin, the perfect home. Wabi-sabi is the complete opposite. It's a mindset that finds real beauty in things that are imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete. It's this incredible release from that impossible chase for perfection.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? A cracked teacup has a history. A wrinkle isn't something to hide, it's a map of all your smiles and worries. When you start to see through the lens of wabi-sabi, you stop seeing flaws as mistakes. You start seeing them as proof of a life fully lived.
Next, we have Gaman. Now, it's really important to get this one right. This is not toxic positivity. It's not about pretending you're not in pain. Gaman is about acknowledging a hardship, but choosing not to let it control you or define you. It's about handling difficulty with this quiet, inner strength and dignity.
And that leads us perfectly to what might be the most beautiful metaphor for resilience of all, Kintsugi. This is the actual art of repairing broken pottery, but instead of hiding the cracks, you fill them with gold lacquer, making the piece even more beautiful because it was broken. So you see the massive difference in perspective, right? Your failures, your heartbreaks, your scars, they aren't things you should hide away in shame. With the Kintsugi mindset, those are the very things that, when you heal them, become your greatest sources of strength and unique beauty. They are the golden seams that tell your story.
Whew, we have covered a lot, from mindset to mindfulness to resilience. So what now? How do you actually bring all of this together? Well, it just starts with one single tiny step. So here they are, the whole toolkit. Kaizen gives you progress. Ikigai gives you purpose. Hara Hachi Bu, health. Shinrin-yoku, peace. Omoyari builds community. And Wabi-sabi, Gaman, and Kintsugi give you resilience. You don't have to do all 8 at once. Just pick one.
Because that's the secret, isn't it? That's the one thread that ties all of this together. The real lesson here is that profound, lasting change doesn't come from huge, dramatic actions. It's built quietly, one small, intentional choice at a time.
So that brings us right back to the beginning. Forget about trying to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Instead, just look at this list and ask yourself one simple question. Which tiny habit will you start today?